This is Drone Nation, the show about flying drones for fun, business, and a real career. Your hosts are Robbie and Terry, both 15. Every week they break it down so you actually get it.
Flying drones for fun, business, and a real career. I'm Terry.
And I'm Robbie, and today we're talking about the rules, where you can fly, where you absolutely cannot, and why some of those rules actually make total sense.
Because nothing kills the vibe like getting a text from the FAA.
Or from airport security, or from a very angry park ranger named Gerald.
So let's start with the basics. In the US, the FAA is in charge of all airspace, and that includes your little backyard drone.
Which felt surprising to me when I first learned it. Like, my drone barely clears the fence, but sure, federal agency got it.
The rule that affects most hobbyists right away is the 400-foot ceiling. You cannot fly higher than 400 feet above ground level without special authorization.
400 feet sounds like a lot until you realize most commercial aircraft fly way, way higher, but the danger zone is actually in between.
That transition space where small planes and helicopters operate is exactly why that ceiling exists, and honestly, it makes sense.
Now here's where it gets geographical. Ever heard of a Before You Fly app?
The FAA actually made a free app called Before You Flee that tells you whether the airspace where you're standing is safe and legal to fly in.
You just open it. It checks your location, and it gives you a green, yellow, or red situation. Green means go, red means absolutely do not launch that thing.
Red zones include a 5-mile radius around most airports. That's a hard no without contacting the control tower first.
And some airports have even wider restricted zones depending on how busy they are, so always check before you head out.
National parks are another big one. As of right now, flying drones is banned in all national parks unless you have a special permit.
Which feels sad because imagine the shots you could get over the Grand Canyon, but also imagine a drone crashing into a condor.
Exactly. Wildlife disturbance is a real concern, and the National Park Service takes it seriously, so respect the ban.
Cities have their own layers too. Many cities have local ordinances that go above and beyond federal rules.
New York City, for example, has extremely strict rules about where you can even take off from within city limits.
So you can't just assume that because the FAA app says green, your local city council agrees, you've got to check both.
It's like having to follow both your school rules and your parents' rules, federal floor, local ceiling.
That's actually a perfect way to put it, and I'm slightly annoyed I didn't think of it first.
Moving on, there are also temporary flight restrictions, which people call TFRs, and those pop up without a lot of warning.
TFRs get issued around things like wildfires, big sporting events, presidential visits, any situation where the airspace suddenly needs to be controlled fast.
During the Super Bowl, a massive no-fly zone goes up around the stadium. We're talking miles in every direction.
And the FAA can fine you significantly for busting a TFR. We're talking fines that could reach tens of thousands of dollars for serious violations.
So checking for TFRs the day you fly is not optional. It's part of being a responsible pilot.
The FAA's website and the Before You Fly app both show active TFRs, so you really have no excuse not to check.
Now let's talk about something people often forget. Flying over people and moving vehicles is restricted under FAA rules.
Unless you're flying a drone that's certified for it and operating under the right waiver, you're not supposed to fly directly over crowds.
That's why at big outdoor events you'll sometimes see a drone in the sky and wonder how they got permission, because they did get permission specifically.
Getting that permission is called a waiver, and the FAA processes thousands of waiver requests every year from filmmakers, inspectors, and researchers.
There's also something called LANC, pronounced like Lance, which is an automated system that can approve airspace access in seconds for pilots in controlled zones.
LANC is genuinely cool because instead of waiting weeks for manual approval, recreational and commercial pilots can get authorization almost instantly through apps like AirMap or Kitty Hawk.
It's one of those cases where technology actually made the bureaucratic process faster and easier, which doesn't always happen.
True. Usually bureaucracy finds a way to add 3 extra forms and a fax machine requirement.
So, to recap the big no fly zones: airports, national parks, overcrowds, military bases. Washington, D.C. has a permanent flight restriction zone around it.
The DC one is serious. The entire area around the capital has some of the most restricted airspace in the country, full stop.
The bottom line is that the rules aren't there just to annoy hobbyists. Most of them exist because drones share the sky with things that carry human beings.
And a 2-pound drone hitting a helicopter rotor is not a minor inconvenience. Physics doesn't care how cool your footage was going to be.
Know your airspace, use the tools that exist, get the waivers when you need them, and you'll never have to meet Gerald the park ranger.
Unless Gerald is cool, in which case maybe fly legally near him and make a friend. Thanks for listening, everyone, and see you next week on Drone Nation.